This is a video on the Pearson Test of English Summarized Spoken Text task. This task involves listening to a lecture or an interview. You'll get 2 or 3 of these tasks per test. You'll get 60 to 90 seconds to listen, and you'll have to paraphrase and synthesize the key ideas, and you'll only have 50 to 70 words in which to do it, and you'll get 8 to 9 minutes to write. So you'll need to take notes while you're listening, and you'll need to use reported speech. You'll need a strategy for note-taking. Within the 60 to 90 seconds, you will typically hear something like as follows: an introduction, like a topic sentence, about 3 to 7 verbal sentences, each containing a key idea in the body, and a conclusion. That's generally about 5 to 10 complex sentences that each contain a key idea. Obviously, you don't have enough time to write 5 to 10 complex sentences while you're listening, so you should only write the basic structures and the keywords. You'll need a framework in which to use reported speech. So for example, you could say the speaker stated that, and then subject, verb, adverb, or object phrase. And you can use any of these other reporting verbs in the pink area. Listen to the following spoken text and analyze this example of note-taking.
What we know is that the impact of the pandemic would be catastrophic if it is similar to what we had in 1918. In the United States, there has been an unprecedented amount of preparation so far. It affects every aspect of public health. We have efforts for treatment, efforts for better prevention, clinical management, key communications, the domestic and international responses, and also efforts to try to prevent transmission within the community. The federal government has had a tremendous amount of resources that they have put into the development of the new antiviral drugs stockpiles, the development of new vaccines, and manufacturing facilities for vaccines. So, there's quite a lot that's happening in the United States. However, developing countries do not have the level of resources found in more developed countries. That's the real challenge.
Link the ideas and add the function words and punctuation. For instance, the impact of the pandemic could be catastrophic. There has been a lot of preparation for the sake of public health. For example, efforts for treatment and prevention. The federal government has put in many resources to develop antiviral drugs and vaccines. However, developing countries lack the resources of developed countries, which is a major challenge. You might need to spend some time removing details that don't affect the overall meaning. For example, for the sake of public health and for example efforts, I might just connect those 2 ideas together. So it could be, there has been a lot of preparation for treatment and prevention. I think that's enough. And then in the conclusion, the final phrase or adjective, which is a major challenge, is probably not necessary considering that you only have 70 words maximum. Now, use this framework to ensure that the summary is in report structures. Remember this framework, or take a screenshot of it. Also, remember to make sure that your grammar, spelling, and punctuation are as accurate as possible. For example, the speaker said that the impact of the pandemic could be catastrophic, and that there has been a lot of preparation for the treatment and prevention. The speaker then highlighted that the federal government has put in many resources to develop antiviral drugs and vaccines. The speaker also pointed out, however, that developing countries lack the resources of developed countries. And that's 59 words, well under 70, so that's very good. Here is another example.
What's the literal definition of risk? Business schools use risk analysis. So, what do you mean by risk? And we need a dictionary. When you look at dictionary, this is literal definition of risk. What it says is, the definition, for example, the possibility of injury, a dangerous element or factor, chance of, degree or possibility of such loss, and so on. So, risk has two parts, as you look at the literal definition of risk. One part is the consequence of some kind of particular danger, hazard, loss. And the other is about the probability of it, chance and consequence, okay? And then, at least just as English language concerns, when you look up the word of safe and safety, which you learn as, it's a little bit of a loop, a little circular argument that free from harm or risks, secure from danger, harm or loss, the condition of being safe and so on for all. And why we take out of it. At least when we talk about safe, at least in English language, we are talking absolute something is safe, or it sounds safe.
Link the key ideas and add the function words and punctuation. For example, what is the literal definition of risk? There are two parts to the definition. Firstly, there is the probability of danger. Secondly, there is the consequence of danger. In contrast, safety is defined as being free from harm or danger. Now use the framework to ensure that the summary is in report structures. For example, the speaker explained that, the speaker pointed out that, etc. For example, the speaker asked what the literal definition of risk is. She pointed out that risk is defined in two parts. Firstly, there is the probability of danger. And secondly, there is the consequence of danger. In contrast, the speaker highlighted that safety is defined as being free from harm or danger. Also, remember to make sure that your grammar and spelling and punctuation are accurate. So this is how it should look in the end. The speaker asked what the literal definition of risk is. And she pointed out that risk is defined in two parts. Firstly, there is the probability of danger. And secondly, there is the consequence of danger. In contrast, the speaker highlighted that safety is defined as being free from harm or danger. That's 52 words, well under the 70-word maximum limit. And that's the end of the video. Watch it a few more times to get the hang of it, and good luck with this task of the PTE test.